Okay, I've got 3 quick tips on how to develop a more powerful one-handed backhand. Before we get started, I just want to mention you need the proper grip. So you're going to need either an Eastern backhand or a semi-Western backhand. Let me show you that. Okay, all racket handles are octagonal. They have 8 sides. Okay, now starting on top, we're going to give those bevels, those flat surfaces, numbers. Number 1's on top. Here's number 2, number 3, 4, 5 is on the bottom. It's the same thing for a lefty going the other way. Now, an Eastern backhand grip, you want to use the index knuckle right here and the heel pad. Those are your 2 reference points. You're going to put those right on number 1 for an Eastern backhand. You're going to need that minimum to hit this shot. Now, a semi-Western backhand, you're going to move those 2 reference points to number 2 on this side. So you're going to turn it this way, which tends to close up the racket face, which is a good thing, especially on high backhands. So you are going to need either an Eastern or semi-Western. Okay, here are my 3 quick tips. Number 1, from that ready position, bring the racket back high. Okay, you're starting high with the racket. That's going to enable you to have a long swing. The longer your swing, the more acceleration you can generate. That's what's going to give you power. Racket head acceleration. And this is effortless if you get the technique right. Okay, so bring the racket back high, and I want you to be looking over your hitting shoulder. I want your chin right on that shoulder right there, okay? That's tip number 1. You've got to get that coil, you're coiling, and the racket is high, so now you can really pick up speed with the racket. Tip number 2, once you get to this point, now you're going to pull the racket back. Okay, you're pulling it back, and I want you to look behind my back here, and you're going to see the racket come into view. Okay, look behind my back here. Okay, now that's what I'm doing there. I'm stretching my upper back, my shoulder, as I pull that racket back. I'm using my left hand too to help me do that. So that's going to give you more length of swing. And I call that the rubber band effect. What it is, when you stretch out that upper back and the shoulder, it's like you're pulling a rubber band. So if I have that rubber band and I'm pulling and I'm stretching it, I'm stretching that upper back and shoulder, and then I just release, it flies. It's almost like you're throwing a frisbee. That's how easy it is. So, but getting that high take back and then pulling the racket back from the shoulder and upper back, showing that racket behind your back, okay, that's going to give you more length of swing, more power, with less effort, because you have to be loose to do this. You want to be totally loose. If you're struggling to get power with your one-hander, it's because you're trying too hard and you're tensing up, you're tightening up. Okay, so, you know, the length of swing is definitely the big thing here that we're talking about to help you get the power. Many players on the backhand, they just come back and then the racket stops, and then they try and generate power as they swing forward, but it's very difficult to do because the racket has stopped. Once you stop the racket, it's going 0 miles an hour. And then to, generate any kind of speed, it's like trying to, get a remember those old cars, the Yugos? Trying to get a Yugo to go from 0 to 60 very quickly. It just can't happen. So the key is that the swing is going to be a continual motion. So you're coming back high, you're looking over that shoulder, you're showing that racket behind your back, and then you just let it rip. Just let it rip. If you have that Eastern grip or that semi-Western backhand grip, just, like you're throwing that Frisbee. So stay relaxed. That'll be my last tip, the third tip. Once you get to this point back here, just throw the Frisbee. Just let it rip. And you are guaranteed vertical at contact as long as you're on number 1 or number 2. So let's take a close look at it. Okay, let's take a look. The racket's coming back high. I'm using that left hand. Notice my left elbow is up. Now the racket's starting to drop down and behind me at this point. Now watch as the tape rolls. Right there, you can see the racket behind my back. I've pulled the rubber band. I'm looking over the right shoulder, and the chest opens up on the finish. The hands go in different directions. Okay, again, the racket's coming back high. I've got that left hand on the throat guiding it. The left elbow is staying up here. You can see that. Now the racket's starting to drop down behind my back there. This was a high ball. I made contact about chest high, but I've pulled the rubber band. I'm looking over that right shoulder, and notice how the hands go in opposite directions as the chest opens up on the finish. That helps acceleration as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Use those tips, and remember, if you're struggling, if you're working hard, you're doing something wrong. Because a one-handed backhand, you should be expending less energy than a forehand. If you're working just as hard on your backhand, you're doing something wrong, because the arm is going away from the body, okay, which makes it easier. The forehand, it's coming across the body, it's tougher. You get a little pinch in here, and you really got to push it through sometimes. So, effortless. That's the goal, okay? Effortless. I mean, you're going to still exert some effort, of course, but let's just put it this way. It's less effort than a forehand, okay? And also, I wanted to remind you guys, I've got a super sale going on right now on all 13 of my digital courses. Please go to the website, check that out. If you buy it right now during the US Open, you get a huge, huge discount. US Open has been incredible. Nice match between Tiafoe and Shelton. Shelton is hitting bombs, huge bombs. He hit what, 149? So he's getting close to Andy Roddick's record. So we'll see. But this guy, it's going to be very interesting against Djokovic. I got to see that match, because I want to see if Shelton, see if he can go the distance with Djokovic, okay? Because Djokovic has been known to go the distance, that's for sure. So, you know, down 2 sets to Gojo and comes back and wins in 5. And the guy's what, 36, going on 37, I think, something like that. So, and he's got certain things that he does to help him maintain that level at that age. And my courses, my digital courses, go into exactly what he's doing. So check that out, and please give me a like, a thumbs up on this video. Please subscribe to the channel if it's your first time there. And I look forward to working with you and taking your game to another level. All the best to your tennis success. Take care.